Now, before we begin, I'd like to implore you to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments, because that helps the channel. The more people subscribe, the more this content gets pushed out to many people, and those people can then bring their own knowledge, or they can post requests, which I can research, and I'll share all my knowledge with all of you. So thanks everybody who subscribed so far this month. Keep it up, and let's on to the intro. Okay, so in today's tutorial, I'm going to generate a granite tiled wall corner in Blender using the Python API, and then we're going to display it in a web browser using the model viewer. So it's pretty simple. Back to the show. So you're going to learn how to use Blender's Python API to create a simple tiled wall corner with a granite texture. So for lighting, we're going to use an HDRI image. I'm going to use the Courtyard EXR file. All I did was just convert to HDR. But from what from my research, it seems that EXR is actually getting more and more popular. So what I might do is I might in the future just use the EXR itself, because EXR is actually better compressed than HDR. I believe also EXR is also, yes it is, I know. It's an open standard, meaning that anybody can use it, so you don't have to pay any license fees or anything like that as well if you're worried about that. Okay, so I'm still using Blender 4.5, the LTS version. Now I'm using Fedora 43, so Fedora does update things, they're pretty good. So I expect probably within maybe even this year I might actually be on Blender 5. Of course I can obviously get the Flatpak version or whatever, because Blender 5 was just released, but this is for Blender 4.5. It's a long-term support release, so this is perfectly fine. You can follow along with it. It should also work with Blender 5. I looked at some of the release notes. Most of the stuff they touched is other things. They obviously, every single release they do come out with some improvements for the Python API, but in my particular case this should still work with Blender 5 as this at the time of this recording. We will when Blender 5 reaches Fedora, or if I do update using the Flatpak, I'll test it out and I'll let you know if guys anything is different. So on back to the show here. So if you're impatient, I do have the code. The Python code is here. You can just expand and paste it into your text editor, or you paste into the Blender scripting workspace, and then you can run it there. And then after that, all you have to do is just run the export out either inside Blender, or if you follow my particular code for this tutorial, you'll be able to let Python take care of that for you, to create the blend file for you as you see here, and also create the GLTF file. This is the GLB, that's the binary version of it. Alright, and for HTML it's pretty simple. Here's the HTML. Again, if you're impatient, just grab the HTML and take a look at it. So the reason I'm explaining HDR and EXR, this is a high dynamic range, that's HDR image format, commonly used for environment maps, that's HDRI, the I obviously stands for image. While supported by some web tools, these formats are not as widely supported in web browsers. Now there's also KTX and KTX2 by the Kronos group. So those ones are great for storing textures in a compressed format, and better yet is usually they're meant for GL. So basically they're meant for so the GPU can this will be much faster. For example, they are commonly used, can be used for WebGL for efficient texture mapping. However, it still requires a bit more setup than GLB. So one of the problems with KTX and KTX2, for example, I use GIMP, I can't simply convert HDR or EXR to KTX or KTX2. To do that, I have to download Kronos group does have like a library and also a command line tool. You can do that to do conversion. So I don't mind doing that, but it's kind of one of those things. If I forget, I might have like a very old version. I'm hoping that there will be an application like GIMP or something, even Blender, which will automatically create this. that would be pretty nice. And of course, as I said, the GLTF, it's also by the Kronos Group. It's highly recommended for 3D models on the web, and it is open source. It's lightweight, efficiently supported by browsers. GLTF, by default, it's a text format. It's a JSON format. You can also embed images in it using, obviously, like base 64. The problem with that, obviously, as you know, it will be way too big. So that's why there's the binary version. That's what I'm using today. So that's why you see the GLB, the B, that's the binary GLTF format. Okay, so and then to run the Python script on the command line, just type blender space -- background space -- Python space, and then the name the name of your Python script file. And that's it. And if you don't want to do that, as I said before, I have some screenshots here. As you can see, you open up Blender, you go to the scripting workspace, and you can paste the code in there. It'll work just as well. In fact, this might be a better option for you, because if there's any errors, you can see them in a console and you can fix them. So okay, then we have this is the I believe it's the layout workspace. You can see the output here, and obviously I did change the viewport shading here just so you can see it. And then I believe this is in the web browser, because I'm using the different, by default Blender uses the forest HDR image, but I like the courtyard, because courtyard has so many things. It has like a shade, it has a bright day outside, and then there's also, I think there's a little bit of grassy like in between. So it has like a whole bunch of stuff, and then there's some reflections. I think there's a dog laying down, and there's it looks like it's a shop or something as well. So very, I'm saying it has very many different I guess kind of scenes or all backgrounds for lighting, so that's why I prefer to use that one. Okay, and then this is the live stream. Proof this is a live stream.
Looks like it's a shop.
So the live stream right now is on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. So if you want to join the live chat, you're welcome to do that right now. Okay, so I'm gonna scroll down here and go right there. So I'm gonna stop. I apologize for today, even though it rains. It's been raining every single day this month. Today is actually sunny. So I was actually outside earlier today as well, just doing some stuff outside. All right, so as you can see here, I have the courtyard.hdr. I'll try EXR next time. I do have this XER. This is hype symlink. And then I have some code here. I will explain this. So sometimes when you're doing this type of stuff, what you notice is that Blender, the documentation might be outdated. Let me explain what I mean by that. So you might find some tutorials online, and you might find some the documentation, and that's great. The problem is the Blender Python doesn't do everything yet. So meaning there's some parts are missing, or some parts might have been removed. So that's what I'm trying to say, is that sometimes you might, the documentation might say something, even though, for example, I can go read the documentation for 4.5, but it's actually not going to work. And maybe somebody made a mistake or something. The problem is you need to, for example, when maybe there's a specific color or a shading node you want to use, you want to get all the nodes for it. So that's why I created this one. You say it says dump a node inputs.py, and then this one is the big textures node in. So basically, if you want to know, you might have to output. You can kind of get it done also in the Blender scripting tab, but that one sometimes doesn't work as well. Because of the way Blender loads things, it has to load the default blend file. So that's what I'm saying, like sometimes it's actually better just to run it on the command line and it output everything, because that's exactly that's this tutorial. It's a script. So that's what it is here. And as you can see, this is the texture. Now if I open this texture up, if you look at it, it looks like it's just pure black, but it's actually not. It's actually It's like a very dark gray. It kind of confused me as well. I was like, are you sure that's not? It's actually not black. It's actually like a dark gray, very close to black, but it's actually a very dark gray. Oh, I guess not light black. There's no such thing as light black, but yeah, it's a very dark gray. And as you can see here, we have the blend file, and then we have our GLB. So I'm going to delete this because we're going to regenerate them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the HTML file and the Python file, and I'll show you how I got this. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Control C and clear that. Yeah, that's the problem with dark themes. I think this is the text editor. No, that's not the text editor. This must be, yeah, this is the text editor. So let's try that again. Dump it into text. I'm using the GNOME text editor. So I'll go through the HTML first, the usual stuff. You know, you have the doc type. We have HTML here. In the head section, I just have a title called low poly wall tiled corner. I also have a meta for the viewport. I just set it to the device width. Initial scale is 1. This is usually for especially if you have a mobile phone in the portrait mode. It's gonna use the desktop version of the site by default. So it's gonna be really tiny. So we're gonna scale it. So initial scale set to 1. That's what that one does. And then this is the one here, the script. This is a module. You load a module. It's a CDN. So meaning that I don't actually have it. You see here, there's no script here. It's being loaded as a CDN. Well, that's if you don't understand what a CDN is. A CDN means that, for example, I'm in Canada, in Southern Ontario. So let's say you are living in, say, Vancouver, or you're living in I don't know, San Diego in the States. So what would happen is, instead of you getting served from a server that is, say, in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, you get one that is on the West Coast. So maybe it's in Seattle, or if you're in California, I'm pretty sure they have in California. I'm pretty sure they have one in BC as well. So that's what a CDN does. It will find the location closest to whoever is visiting the site, and it will display it. So that will make it much faster than, for example, if I put this in Toronto, it will be slightly slower. These days it doesn't really matter because of the high speed and caching, but yeah, that's what a CDN does. And I have the styling here, so I'm not going to talk about styling because this is not a styling tutorial, and styling is subjective. But all I did is just make the background a darkish gray color, and I just put the model viewer itself. I made it 100% viewport width and 100% viewport height. So that means that when you scale it, it will automatically be set to that. And as you can see here, we have the model viewer. So the source will be our GLB file. It hasn't been created yet because I just did it. I did create, and this is just a node tag saying low poly wall tiled corner. And the options I had is auto-rotate space, camera-control space, AR space shadow -intensity. I set that to 1, and environment -image. That will be our courtyard image. That's our HDR image. And then animation-name equals animation. So as of now, in 2025 GLTF files, there's only one animation. Yours have to put animation. So you might say, well, mine doesn't have an animation. That's true. So I don't actually need this, but I just need a copy pasta. And you say autoplay. That's if it has an animation, it automatically start playing. So sometimes I do that. So that's why I left that in there. But this part here is actually not needed. And I also have an H1 tag. That is, oops, I did that wrong. I also have an H1 tag here. I commented out so I could take screenshots for the article, but it just says low poly wall tiled corner model. That's it. Let's check out Python. It looks a lot, but it's not intimidating. The reason is one of my viewers requested I start using Python. When I do this type of stuff, I start doing object-oriented programming. So I'll explain what that means later. So so we import the Blender Python obviously module, import math, and import OS. So the reason I import the OS is so that because I like to save things relative to the Python script. So that's what that is. So here you see the Blender file name. This is the name here, and the export file name. That's a GLB file. That's here. And then this part here is not needed. The reason I did this was when I was using the Flatpak version. The Flatpak is not allowed to, by default, not allowed to go anywhere outside of your home folder. So I wanted to have flexibility because I said I also use Blender for example, for video editing, right? So the videos might not always be in the home folder; they might be somewhere else. I wanted that feature to be able to do that. Okay, so our tiles thickness, I set it to 0.3. The grout thickness, if you don't know what grout is the stuff that's in the middle. It looks like it's usually like a cement type stuff, the one that holds all the tiles together. So that's a grout. The backing thickness, that's how thick it's going to be. It's set to 0.05. I believe by default it's in meters. The number of tiles is 3, just to make it look like it's a granite slab. And the base size is 1.97 here. This is used for the cubes, just to because the cube by default is a perfect square. So clearly, what I want is a rectangle. So we're going to bake our texture. The reason for this is because GLTF does not have this module. It doesn't have noise or they're called procedural nodes. Procedural nodes are where you can by using noise you can generate textures. For example, what's a popular texture, like a wooden type texture. Those type. For example, in this case, I'm creating a granite texture, right? So there's going to be probably a little bit of noise, just to like slight metallic thing. You guys will see that soon. And then the step size, I don't really think. Oh yeah, it's the tile size plus the grout thickness, and the wall dim, a number of tiles times tile size, and what is it? The number of tiles plus 1, and then the grout thickness. And you can see here we have, as I said, object-oriented programming. The first thing we do here is we delete the scene. So I select everything and deselect everything and select everything and then delete. So this allows me to copy this into all my scripts. So by right now, at least for 4.5, I haven't tested out 5.0. Is it comes with a default cube, a default camera, and default light. So I don't need the light. I don't need the camera. I'm gonna use cube, but I don't know where the cube is oriented or anything. So that's why I delete everything and create my own. So as you can see here, then the first thing we do is we're gonna create our material. So what we do is okay, it looks like I made a little mistake here, but this method is the one that creates the material. Sorry, that creates the tile. It takes X, Y, Z, and the rotation. If there's no rotation, it's going to use 0.0. So meaning there'll be no rotation. So it creates a tile, and then it will scale it to our scale variable, and then it will add the material to it. So this, I'm confused here. Where is the material coming from? Granular material. I'm not passing it in. Oh, I guess I'm making a global variable. Okay, and then we bake here. You see, you take the material, we bake it. So that's how you bake it. You guys have seen this before, so I'm not going to take your time. We're using the Cycles engine, and we're going to use CPU. The reason I'm using CPU is because not everybody has an NVIDIA or an updated CPU or what do you call it, AMD GPU. So set it to CPU. It's fine. It's pretty fast, so you won't miss. I mean, the GPU obviously will be faster, but the CPU is fine. You guys will see on the command line. And then for the mesh, what do we do here? Original engine. So we switch back to the original engine, and then we unwrap it. So there's really no point for this because I said it's pretty dark. It's just a nice slab. So we set the color here, diffuse, and image path, we save it as a PNG file. And then for the baked image, we put it back onto the principled BSD instead of using a base color. And that's it. So that's the part there. And then to generate the corner, so granite tile material, As you can see, we use the nodes here. We principled BSD, the noise texture, color ramp, text location, text inputs, color ramp again, location, and you guys can see all this. So just nodes, roughness, and yeah, so these are the calculations here. The reason we use math is for different reasons. As you guys know, Blender by default uses radians instead of degrees. So that's why that's why I imported the math. And I'll show you some examples later on when we need to do some. I believe there's something here. Yeah, I believe with the rotation. Where is it? Yeah, right here. You see rotation angle, math.radians. So we convert it to radians because that's what it wants. And then we bake. Yeah, we call the bake function here. We select everything. So we parent them, and then here we save our. I'm not gonna spend too much time on the saving part because you guys have seen. I said I just copied the stuff from before. Again, just take the blend save path and then just output it here. And then for the GLTF or GLB file, you can see here we're exporting it. Set export apply true, export materials export normals true, export y up true, export animations. This one is not actually needed, but I left it there because I'm going to copy paste this one for the next one. I might do an animation next time, and that's it. And then to execute, we just call the main function, which generate underscore wall underscore tile underscore corner. That's it. So we're done there. Now to see this running, let me get rid of this. It's not needed. All you have to do is just go on the command line, type blender space -b. That's short for background. Then space -p, capital P. That's short for Python. And then the name of our file .py, the Python script, and you see how long it's going to take. You watch this part here, you see it's already generated, it's done. So I said you can use the CPU for this. You see it's done. You created the Granite image, you created a blend file, and created our GLB file. So I'm going to open up the blend file. I'm going to grab a little water just to make sure everything is good. Can't believe how much water I'm drinking, especially when we had a drought during the summer. Oops, this is actually, this is no longer needed, so I can get rid of that. Why? Okay. All right. So before I zoom in here, I'm going to go to the scripting tab. This is the scripting tag here. Scripting workspace. And you just paste. I said click new, and then you can paste here, and then you can run. So I'm going to go back to layout. See, when we're in layout here, see by default, let me zoom in. See, this is what it looks like. You see, the reason for this is so they can speed up the viewport rendering. But if we go here, we can change it to, for example, what's the next one here? The viewport is set to material preview. So this is the material preview here, and then the other one is the render. If you want to see a rendered view. Now this one is going to be the slowest, so that's a rendered view. And now you can see the texture. I don't know if you can see it properly, but it's there's a glare here. So another way to see this is remember there's no lighting, so that's why it looks kind of weird. But if you go to the view, if you go to the shading workspace, and then you zoom in here, you can see it a little bit better. Let me just put it up here for you guys. So you should be able to see that's better. And then we can obviously rotate. See, that's the corner. You see, it's much better because see, you can tell this is the forest. You see the clouds. Unfortunately, this forest HDR image, it was kind of like a cloudy day, so that's why I said that. That's one of the reasons I prefer to use. So you can see it was a kind of a cloudy day, so that's why I prefer to use the courtyard, because courtyard has so many different, I mean the same day. So let's get rid of this guy here. I don't need to save. So if I open this up in GIMP, I believe I should be able to open this up in GIMP. Where is GIMP? GIMP. here, open up in GIMP, and just to show you what it actually looks like. If you remember what I was saying, so this courtyard image, you see, this is why I like the courtyard image. You see, as I said before, there's clearly, you see this? There's a shadow here. There's, there's some reflection from outside, right? And then you have this, I don't know if it's a bar or something. Has a little bit as well. And then you can see a very bright day outside, and then back inside you have the, shade. You have the dog, so you have reflections. Very nice. So that's why, that's why I prefer to use this one instead, because it really has everything. I did mention it had some green part. Maybe I was mistaken. Oh yeah, there's some trees or plants, very large plants there. Yeah, some here as well. So I said it basically has everything. The only thing missing is probably just snow, right? But it's really good. It should have everything you need. All right. So now let's go test this out in a web browser. I'm going to open up a web browser here, and I'll just drag. I do need to go back to the command line. I just remembered I need some type of a server. But before I do that, let me take a short break and see if all the live streams are going well. Sometimes, like when I'm doing this type of stuff, what will happen is that the microphone will cut off, or FFmpeg will cut it off, and then luckily those times it happened. It was just for a few minutes, and I was able to catch it, or somebody put something in the live chat saying, "Hey, it's not working," or you're muted or something. All right. Okay, so that's perfectly fine. Everything is going great. Okay, so before I do that, I said that unfortunately I need to go back to the command line. I shouldn't have closed that one. Okay, so I'll show you here. We don't need much. It's very simple. Just need to start a Python server. So there's so many ways. There's so many different ways you can do this. I'm just going to use a Python server. I just need an HTTP server. That's all you need. So you can use Apache, Nginx, anything you want. PHP, even the development server is what I'm talking about. So I'm using that type Python -m. That's the name. Yeah, http.server, and I'm going to put 8080. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, so, and I'm going to get rid of that. And then here, all I have to do is just type localhost, if it works. Localhost 8080/low. Actually, if I just type 8080, I'm wondering if it will show the folder. Yeah, it does. Perfect. So I'm going to do that from going forward. Just say 8080, and then I can kick this HTML file. And there we go. You see my hand? It's going to rotate. It's rotating by itself, not without me. See, my hands are here. So as you can see here, yeah, if you actually watch it properly, you might see a reflection of maybe the dog or what's going on here. So you can see this is the very light part. So this is the back. We don't care too much about the back. What we care about is actually just the front. So you can see I can rotate it. So when I rotate it right there, that looks more like Granite, and that's probably a lighter Granite. And there we go. So as I was saying, this part here, this is the grout. This is the grout here, and this is the grout here. So if you want to see how it was put together, that's how it was. Nice and simple. So why would you do this? Let's say you're making a game, or that's most likely where you're going to be the 3D modeling, or you just want to show off. For example, if you want to show, or maybe you have a specific tile you want to use, you can do this very, very quickly, and you show just a few lines of code, and you're good to go. Now, it would have been much simpler if I just did one slab, or maybe just one row, just to show the grout. But as you can see, that's how we do it here. Nice and simple. Very nice tutorial. All right, so I'll let this rotate by itself, and I will let's finish up this tutorial. So with this tutorial, you have learned how to create a tiled granite corner wall in Blender using Python. Apply HDR lighting with an EXR image, and export your work to a web-friendly GLTF format for display in a browser. This technique is useful for web developers and 3D artists who want to bring their creations to life on the web with minimal hassle. All right. I do have some additional resources for you guys. You can check out my programming books. I have Learning Python. It's available on Amazon. The link is in the description. I also have Mastering Blender Python API. It's also available on Amazon in ebook and paperback form. The link is also in the description. And if you want to explore my course, Learning Python, it's available on, oops, I forgot to do this, just give me a second. So, keep on forgetting this. So you can grab my books on Amazon, you can search for Jumbo, links I said are also in the description. And for my course, it's available on ojamboshop.com. The Learning Python, there's also other courses, and which is perfect for beginners looking to dive into Python programming. Now, a few things got cut off here, but basically if you need one-on-one help or online tutorial sessions, I'm also available for that. That will be at ojambo.com/contact, or if you need more professional help at jamboservices.com/contact. All right, now that's the end of the tutorial. I still want to implore you that you should subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments. As I said, it does help out the channel. When the more you subscribe, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. All you have to do is subscribe, and I said the algorithms do send out the videos, and more people watch them. And the more people watch them, more people obviously will post requests or post tips, which I'll share with all of you. So literally every single thing, probably the majority of stuff for the past week has been either requested or hinted at, or just inspired by viewers just like you. So thanks again for everybody who subscribed and liked and shared comments. All right, and then to finish up here, I do have a referral link for SpaceX Starlink residential service. If you're thinking of getting that service, please use my referral link. I'll get 1 month free. That's another way you can support the channel, and you'll get a significant discount. And I also have this Honeywell heat-bath personal ceramic heater. It's a space heater. It's a very small one. It's 170 watts and 250 watts, so you can save significantly. I saved over $100 based on for my first year on the coldest month of the year in propane costs, and this year I expect to save $200. So the first year I was paying $350 a month in propane for heating. Preposterous. Last year, the coldest month, I got it down to $250, and this year, this season, it's been very cold. I am determined to get it down to a low 100, even probably less than that. And I already saved already. I didn't pay anything in October. November, I used very little. November is still ongoing, but I used very little. All right. So yeah. So this is an affiliate link, which means that I'll get a commission if you do purchase it. And this one here, I said I'll get 1 month free. All right. And then if you want to know more about me, I have a bio here. You can explore my books. That goes to my book page on Amazon. I'm working on a new book. It's not about programming, but what I'll most likely do after I finish that book, I will show you guys how to create some applications. I don't think I'll do games, but one of the good things about doing things like this today, the tiled corner, is you can use those things and in your apps or your applications. So I'll show you guys how to do that, and maybe I'll make it a series. I'll make some very simple apps, and then I'll show you how the process of putting it on all the like whether it's the Android store, what's the Flat Hub, and things I haven't done it yet, like for example Microsoft Store, the Apple Store, etc., etc. And because I no longer have a Mac, so that's going to be fun. I think I might have to use a cloud service, or see if I can buy a used cheap Mac. Last time I checked, that was about 2 years ago. The M1 Macs were still way too pricey. They were even more pricey than the new, like I think the M1, M4 came out. So we'll see about that. And if you need support, jamboservices.com here, and then if you're ready to learn, the jamboshop.com links, they're all in here. So you just go to any article, and if it's written by me, the majority of them are written by me, you just go to the bio, you can see all the links there. And then every page at the footer, we have the channels. This is the best way to reach me. I'm Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, and YouTube. You can leave a comment there, all go to the contact page. You see, each of my websites has a contact page. That's the best way to fill that in, and I do reply. Obviously, when I'm outside looking after the chickens or something, but I'm saying I usually do reply within 24 hours. Obviously, I'm a human, so I need to sleep and stuff, but I definitely do reply. So meaning that if you do send one in the morning, highly unlikely I will reply sometime during that day. Okay, so with that said, guys, I will leave you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.